Ah, hello. So I'm here every weekday at 12 p.m. Pacific for those of you who are new here. This is God Power Live. This is God Power Live. Hey, Samaya. So remember yesterday I shared about a client of mine who was going to have a conversation with her husband, a vulnerable conversation. And before, though, this woman is also inside of Show Gold, which is my master course that's all about helping women come back home to their bodies. Come back home to their bodies. The primal power of a woman is in her man's interest. A lot of men don't know this. They hear powerful women and they think something not good. How about that? And what is true, for those of you who may be coming aware of this for the first time, when women, your woman, your daughter, your female cousins, when women around the globe come into their full primal power, particularly through a heart level and through their pussies, it is in your interest. So here's what happened. So the first thing I asked her when we got on Zoom yesterday was, how did the conversation go? Because I gave her very clear guidance on how to talk to her husband, who she's been resenting. They've been married for 20 years. And she's more like so many wives and mothers who are like, I'm so much more. And there's a complacency often that develops in long term marriages, and they become like brothers and sisters who have sex, kind of like a thing, right? They become roommates who have sex. It's like friends who have sex. And there's not the fire, the passion, I want to rip your clothes off kind of thing, or even the kind of like, I just want to touch you, like more of you, and it's, right? So I asked her, how did the conversation go? How did it go? How did it go? How did it go? She said, Naima, we just got started. She said she and her husband were in the kitchen. She said, and he turned to her and looked at her and said, something is different about you. You're softer. She said, and then she was out. Her and her husband went to see, I think she said, a violinist. Her and her husband went out to see a violinist. And she said people were just attracted to her, just coming up to her and like just interested in her. She said they were like her energy, etc. And even she was more alive with me yesterday on Zoom. And she said her son, she has a 35-year-old son. She said he's her biggest cheerleader. She said even her son was like, Mom, what's going on with you? You're softer. Where was this mother when I was growing up? Do you know how lit up that added to me yesterday? That this mom and grandma, she said, and I want women to know that it's not over just because she's going to be, I'm not going to say her age, but she's a grandmother. We'll leave it at that. Okay. And so, so many things here. One, it is in men's interest. It is in everybody's interest, but I'm saying this particularly to men who, um, particularly of a certain generation, the men who were like over 40, whose fathers were, oftentimes the fathers who were raised in the 40s, 50s, 60s were hard men. They were hard. And there's a place for hard, right? We're not talking down on hard. But there was a sort of, yeah, the feminine balance wasn't there. How about that? The feminine balance wasn't there. And we've heard the grandmother's version of the story because she has shared what it's been like being married to him for 20 years and just like rigid in a way, and, just, you know, and there's lots of value in the structure and the order and the right. And when you're dealing with a woman, if you want a soft woman, okay, if you want your woman to get in line like you and get in order like you and get it together, bitch, because we got shit to do, and like if you want your woman to be like that, then that's how y'all become brothers and brother and sister who have sex. You just become roommates. So you just, you fuck her, get your nut, and go on about your life. Like if you okay with that, be mindful, okay? But if you want a soft woman, she said he was like, whatever you doing, keep doing it. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Her son, her 35-year-old son, she said she told her son about Atlanta. He was like, do you need me to help you get there? Do you need me to help you get there? What's going? She said he was like, I got points on my credit card. If you want me to help you. If you want to be soft, if you are hungry to be soft, if you are craving to be soft, you need to be willing to invest money to come in and work with either coming to Atlanta or into Shadow Gold, or just take it serious in your life and go about doing it intuitively. There's many ways to do this. The reason why I'm selling my way is because it's primal in nature. And as far as I'm concerned, it's like multiple degrees. It's multiple degrees. Let's say there's 10 degrees. Let's say there's 10 degrees. What example can I use here? There's 10 different ways to bake bread. Or how about, here's a really good example. You can take a flight from wherever you are to London. You can go coach, you can go premium, you can go first class, you can go business class. Those are options for a flight from wherever you are to London, right? You're on the same plane, you're going to the same place. There are people who do coach and they're totally fine with coach, and there are people who won't even think about coach. They only go first class, and they're on the same plane going to the same place. Why? 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 Why would I pay $2,000 for this flight when I could pay $600? Why would I do that? Right? So there's a mind behind the person who's buying. There's a mind. It's not about what's better, worse, per se. It's about the mind of the person who's purchasing and what they want. What kind of experience do they want to have? Now, if you're okay with getting on the flight last, if you're okay with not being served until the flight takes off, if you're okay with not being able to make changes once you make your flight, if you're okay with what else? Less leg room and less space. My goodness, the way you cramped up in coach. If you're okay with waiting a long time to be served because there's 160 people in coach, like if you're okay with all those little things that make a difference in first class in coach, then go ahead. But if you want to be seated first because you want to get comfortable, maybe you have children, if you want to be able to drink on the flight before the flight takes off, because in first class you can drink while everybody else is boarding, you can get served while everybody else is boarding. Coach cannot. Okay, you get certain kind of points. There's less people, so you get quicker service. There's the feeling of it all, right? Again, this is an experience, right? Somebody said it's about an elevated experience. It's always a choice. Yes, it's always a choice, right? you have a very different experience. They close the curtain. You're tended to very differently, right? And it's about which experience do you want to have. Simple as that. So I give that to share that if you are totally okay intuitively coming home to your primal power alone, there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to take on a longer route, if you'd like to go on a bunch of detours because life happened, because you're by yourself, because you're in your head, because all the things that happen when people try to get a PhD by themselves, right? Versus the folks who invest for the experience that's elevated, that gets them to the thing quicker. You want the solution? I have a client right now. She's been writing a book for 5 years. She hardly had anything written. She worked with me in 3 months. She's written so much, but not only that, the inner stuff that had her taking 5 years to begin with. See, you want it slow or you want it fast? How much is your time worth to you? When you're older, you start to recognize the value of time more. When you're 32, you just feel like you got time. You don't think that you could die in a car accident next week. You don't think that your mother could die tomorrow and your life totally changes. You don't think that you could, you think you got time, so much time. So I say this for a couple of reasons. One, what are you waiting for as far as shadow gold is concerned? Get in today. Two, if you're ready for the physical experience, meaning in a room, yeah, this is next level right here. In a room, we're going to be in a bright loft. If you in love with yourself, if you have difficulty with being aroused in the presence of others, thank you for the hearts. If you have difficulty with any kind of turn on, it can happen anywhere. It can happen at when you go get coffee in the morning. It can happen, right? And we don't even realize we're doing this. This is so, gosh, we don't even realize how we stop eye contact quick. We don't let ourselves laugh too much. We sort of, all the subtle ways. I want you to understand that's how you are cutting off life in all those seemingly insignificant ways. And you already know that you're tensing your body. You're not breathing well. Like as you're sitting here listening to me now, how's your breathing? Do you deep belly breathe? Like where your belly goes out. Do you deep belly breathe? How do you feel being touched by another person slowly? How do you feel about being witnessed in your shame? Hey darling, I recognize your photo. Hello. How do you feel about being witnessed in your softness? Or like as you're getting to know yourself, how do you feel about another woman witnessing you? How do you feel about witnessing another woman in her vulnerability and softness? Her fear. How do you feel about just being? To really just get yourself used to being around soft power, yours and others. How do you feel about learning how to really be in your body while either being completely open and relaxed or asserting? Like all of these are skills that happens in practice in relationship with other people. You think I'm just astounded by these things that I learned just by engaging with women. Like the conversation we had last week about women are just doing the work by themselves. Women are just doing the work by themselves. They're at home, wherever they are, just doing the work by themselves. It's sort of like, ah, it's sort of like reading about losing weight, reading about how to crochet your hair, reading about how to cook this particular dish versus actually cooking the dish, reading about losing weight versus actually engaging in the activities that help you lose weight, reading about doing this very thing versus actually engaging in the practice and behavior that where you're doing the thing. I remember I was living in Houston and I had sort of found out who was the elite black ones in town. Femininity, what's your name, darling? I want to say something to you since you're still here. It's very uncomfortable and polarizing for 95% of women. You are correct. Femininity says it's very uncomfortable and polarizing for 95% of women. Yet they want a man, they want a provider man, they want, right, all these things. They want to have, be powerful women. They want to manifest, they want to create. But Tanya, hi Tanya, but you're uncomfortable with your own self. You know what I mean? If a man just wants to give to you and please you and serve you, could you even handle that? I can't agree with you more. Healing is communal. Thank you. Healing is communal. Thank you very much. It is so communal. And so I found out about this. She worked in the financial industry, and she was a part of the Black elite in Houston. And she actually ended up coming to speak to my event, and super wonderful. And I asked her if I could just like get some wisdom, some counsel from her. And at the time, I wanted to move to New York. I was telling her, I want to move to New York, but I was like, but I'm gonna like stay here in Houston and like get ready and like practice and like do all this. Like how y'all be telling me, now I'm getting myself ready to come. It's like the people who want to lose 10 pounds before they go to the gym. I'm getting myself ready. Are you like, I gotta get my stuff together. I've heard women, I gotta get my stuff together. And basically all you're saying is you want to present to me a more put together, what you think is respectable version. That's what's happening here. Thank you for all those hearts. You want to do you understand that well, let me tell you now in case you don't. Part of the work that we're doing in Atlanta is getting messy. My clothes might come off. I might not wear makeup. I might start crying myself. I might want y'all to hold me. Y'all think this is a dress rehearsal? You need a profile photo if you're going to ask me a question. That's for everybody here. You need a profile photo. I have said, and I'll say it again, purification is dirty work. For those of you who are saying, I want to heal, I want to be actualized, I want to know who I am, I want my power, I want to make more money, I want to sell my services, I want to create compelling content as my authentic self, I want a husband, I want to fill in the blank with all the things that I keep hearing. Okay? The way to light is dark. You could have an experience in Atlanta because we're powerful. We lie all the time, so we sort of leak our power and give it away and all of that. But in my room, your whole system knows that it can come out. This is beyond what you think you can do with your mind and how you think you can plan something and try to show up with a strategy and try to, get yourself ready and think you got a intent for why you come in and with all that. Your power is so deep down in there, you don't know what's going to come out of you when you get in the room. And that's the point. That's the point. Don't you want to know what the invisible drivers are inside of you that make you move how you move? Thank you for liking the live, everyone. Don't you want to know if you keep being in a pattern that you're like, why, that you want to break? Don't you want to know what is invisible to you that's controlling you? Don't you want to unleash? Like, don't you want that? Like, don't you want to, like, all the stuff that makes you, like, avoid stuff because you're scared of that? And I don't know, this just makes me nervous. I don't know. Don't you want to get out of I don't know and get into, oh, I know why I'm like that. So then everything that's hidden from you about you is now conscious to you. Share the live, you guys. Aren't you aware that the manifestation you say that you want, you can't even manifest, and even if you did, you wouldn't be able to keep it. The true fulfillment and power and the big things y'all keep telling me you want, you cannot get that and sustain that if you got all these invisible things making you act and see yourself a certain way. How do you deeply see yourself? For real. Not like what you would say to me in the chat right now. But like when it's 2 in the morning, 5 in the morning, and you with yourself, how do you really feel deeply? The way you move right now, the way you see me, the way you see you. Again, whoever that is with no profile photo and it's just black, and I love black, you need to have your face up. Otherwise, hi, hey Sage, thank you for sharing the live. Well, put your face up. Okay, put your face up. So, as Tanya, I think it's Tanya, as Tanya said, healing is communal. Not only healing, but transformation. You're coming into the transformational portal when you enter the loft. You have the environment to transform, and you come out new. You come into the loft in Atlanta. You engage in all the work that we'll be doing. And do you know us eating together is part of the work? And feeling how all of it feels to be in the presence of other powerful women. You know how the feminine works? This is how it works, sweetheart. Buy tickets today. Come to the whole weekend. Hey, Sharon. Come to the whole weekend. March 16th and 17th. The 16th is sensual play, transformation, and your body's homecoming. Sensual play, transformation, and your body's homecoming. Touch will be involved. You can opt out of touch. It is important that we feel each other. Feel yourself first, feel other people. It's important that you speak honestly in a way that you never have. That you speak honestly in a way that you never have. If it is important to you to manifest what you never have manifested. So if you've already gotten a car and you want another car, whatever. If you already have a house and you want to manifest another house, whatever. If there's a becoming about you that you know is required for you to get and keep a certain way of being, a certain lifestyle, a certain result where it becomes your normal, there's an internalness of shifting, internal shifting that's required. Hey, Mackie. Mackie says, sounds like a great vibe. Doya, Tanya, right? So if I'm wrong, please correct me. I think it's Tanya. Touch is so important. Energy transference. Yes, and my proven process, as I think most of you know about, is called Own All Energies. What do I mean by own all energies? I think it's pretty self-explanatory. And if any of you have questions, you can ask them. But own all energy is where you run from nothing. And that you're even welcoming of things that feel uncomfortable because you want to know yourself and why you're running from this. Do you run from, I have a family member who, this affluent man, wanted to get to know her and date her. And we were sitting by the pool. This was years ago. We were sitting by the pool and she was telling me about it. And she was like, well, girl, no. Because I was like, why not? She was like, because he got his stuff together. So the energy of him having his stuff together and what that felt like with him at her, with her identity of how she viewed herself, she kept him away. What do you keep away? Do you keep away male attention because you got it in your mind that niggas ain't shit? You upset with your father about something? Do you keep an energy of, if I were to contact you right now and be like, I'd love to do this thing that to you felt big and felt unlike who you are, would you be able to say yes? Right on, Toya. Hello, Ferguson. Would you? Would you, right? If I contacted you and, woo, okay, so let me tell you what this touches. Here's the point right here. We need to love as powerful feminine women. It's not a, that would be nice. We need it. We become demons when we don't get to love. We become quick to anger, resentful, tense women when we don't love. One way that you love is you receive. Repeat. One way that you love as a woman is you receive. There's so many ways to receive. In this context, what I mean is when someone wants to do something for you, give something to you, help you, be there for you, and because you have an identity of you don't deserve, or I don't care how much your mouth is talking about you powerful and you a woman and all this, but when it comes time to receive, you go into a state of, no, I don't need help. I got it. He got his stuff together. I can't. Okay. Thank you. Okay, let's bring it all together. Let's bring it all together. Toya said, oh, you said I keep away. Okay, good. Good. So let's open this up. Toya, Tanya. Sorry. I'm just Toya, Tanya. Toya, Tanya. Let's open this up. Tanya. Thank you. Tanya, Tanya, Tanya. You just helped to open this up. Because what happens for me so often is I feel like I'm talking too spacious and too open and too large, and I'm not meeting people because so many people are energetically like this. They can't even let in the ocean. They only have a bucket. They bring a bucket to the ocean. So then when I come with the ocean, they're like, wait, and they're just so, it's sort of like I have to absorb that weight. I need to weight. I need to metabolize. So thank you, Tanya. Your presence just has me like, okay, we can enlarge this conversation. Before I go on, who is feeling drawn to Women Atlanta? Women Gods Gather in Atlanta. What I'm talking about us physically meeting the 16th, 17th, and 23rd. Who feels drawn to this and who is going to buy a ticket? I would love to know. I'm going to wait to see you guys' thoughts and feelings about being in a room with powerful women. Well, I don't know if I see myself as a powerful woman. Am I powerful enough? Will I fit in? Will they reject me? Will I look weird? Oh shit. I need to get my shit together first. I don't know if I. Who's coming? Hey, Rad. Thank you for sharing the live, Ashley. Ashley Loveheart. Ooh, I like that. Loveheart. Hello, Kali. Hello, Zecker. Zecker Zayon. Thank you, Mackie. Mackie. Thank you, Mackie. Thank you for the rose. Stick around, darling. You'll get it in just a moment. Potentially. If you're not coming, tell me why you're not coming in the comments. If you're not coming, tell me why you're not coming. I'm going to wait. It is transformative. But I feel like you're gonna block me for still having a dark profile of my face. Well, Samaya co-signed you. I saw Samaya saying, "I see your face. It's just dark." So I'm gonna interact with you because Samaya co-signed you. Word up. Go ahead and speak. I want to hear what you have to say now, since Samaya co-signed you. Hey, main character. So, we're enlarging this conversation now. Tanya said earlier, I've been, with, you've been rejecting ridicule, I think is what you said. You reject ridicule. So if there was I think you used another word, maybe it was ridicule, but you reject ridicule, right? So we could add in there anything else that any of you are rejecting. I don't want constructive criticism. I don't like being perceived. That's one. Um, avoiding, what else are you avoiding in here? What else are you avoiding? What else are you avoiding? Y'all go ahead and put it in the chat. The unknown. Oh, that's good. So good. Avoiding the unknown. What else are you avoiding? Are you avoiding difficult conversations with somebody? Are you avoiding a particular man, your mom, a particular woman? Avoiding shame? Yes, you're avoiding shame. What else? Vulnerability. Very good. You're avoiding vulnerability. Right. Okay. So this is good. Very good. Right. So you're avoiding all that. So which means is anything that you can get from that, just okay. Rebecca, you can leave. If you can't be patient, you can leave. With that attitude, I would like you to leave. Drama, yep, all that. Okay. You want to know why you're rejecting it. Because what we already know is you're rejecting it because you don't like the way it feels. Like we already know that. You don't like the way it feels, right? You don't want the feeling that comes with shame. You don't want the feeling that comes with vulnerability. You don't want the feeling, right? All that. But what you also leave out when you reject all of these undesirable experiences and feelings is you also get out what you would learn about yourself by feeling it deeply. This is why I've said repeatedly that doing forbidden, inappropriate, hard, or dangerous things are your key to salvation. It's your key to being able to manifest. Because many of you are trying to manifest by wanting it really bad, by having really weak visualizations, by thinking you can talk about it sometimes, by journaling about it. But you got so much density inside of you. You're so afraid inside. You're so scarce inside. You avoid all of these energies because energy is energy. You might put the word of shame on it, but it's still an energy. You might put the word of vulnerability on it, but it's still energy. And what so many women have told me inside of Shadow Gold repeatedly as I realize that whether it's good or it's bad, all of it is in service to me. Whether it's good or it's bad, all of it is in service to me. So for you all here, being vulnerable, shameful, that could be bad to you. You would put that in the bad category. Being ridiculed, you would put that in the bad category. The unknown, you would put that in the bad category. Drama, you would put that in the bad category. If life was just good all the time, you only did good things, only things that were positive, only things that felt good, only things that were predictable and known, and only did. Somebody said, "Well, I'm not ashamed. It's more like other people's reaction than I just heard." Okay, let me read the full thing for Facebook listeners too. Samaya said, "While I'm not ashamed. It's more like others, people reactions. Then I just turtle up." Okay, good. Who else here deals with that? Let's get into it. Other people's reaction. Oh yes, because people are going to react to you. The more you come into your primal power, and I talked about this yesterday when I talked about a guy I was dating. uh, we were in the beginning stages of dating, and I want him to know who I am. So I started sharing with him about my work, the nature of it, and I, more than ever actually, because at that time I was actually really wanting to be in a relationship. And it was the first time I had felt this kind of desire inside myself. So when I met him, I was very intentional. It was a very intentional thing. And so that was the first time, I think it might have been the first time in my adult life, when I shared more about who I was in the early stages of dating. So this person could really know me. And I remember us being at dinner, and he looked at me like, "Are you serious?" Like it was dismissive. It was clearly he wasn't like, "Oh," or, "Tell me more," or "That's interesting," or whatever. And I remember in that moment, I was like, "Yeah, this is not," like quietly to myself. I was like, "No, this isn't gonna, this isn't gonna work." He doesn't. This little bit that I've shared with him in this short little bit of time, he reacting like that. He's not gonna like. This ain't gonna work. He's not gonna like me. And so, well, how did that feel for me in the moment? It was like, well, that ain't gonna work. That's unfortunate because he cute, and I want to get to know him, right? Because I didn't know him either. It was very early. Oh, that's unfortunate because that's cute, right? He's cute, right? So we this can't go much further. Okay. Somebody said, "Hey, Black." She said he can't handle it. Or I think another context that would be useful here is being who you are in the presence of, like, see, in Atlanta, this is why it's great to practice there. I think for some of you, it may be like how mom, family, your man, or even people online when you start doing certain kinds of content. Is that a concern? um, hey, EUS? What's your name, EUS? Yeah, just incompatible. Yeah, it happens, right? But I really shared that experience to get at, Samaya saying, and I've heard other people say similar, how people are going to react to me. I've heard people talk about that, afraid of being canceled and attacked in their content. So it's the same thing, like how people are going to react to me when I'm true. How are people going to react to me when I am soft and I don't move fast because they moving fast? I remember being at this business. It was a 2 day, I think it was 2 days at this really nice hotel in Florence, Italy, with Gina DeVee. You guys know Gina DeVee? And it was gorgeous. And we had breakfast in the morning, and it was like stunning, like royal. It was a total royal vibe. And I was taking my time, baby. I was moving slow. And this woman, also a guest at the event, she comes and she stands over me while I'm eating and reaches out her hand to shake my hand. And I literally, without even looking at her, I was like, "I'm eating and I don't shake hands when I'm eating." And she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and walked off. Like, how people are going to react to that? How are people going to react to that? You moving slow, moving whatever your cadence is. How are people going to react to whatever your cadence is? Your style. Black said what she did was rude. Yeah, I think she, some people just don't know that kind of decorum. I mean, I didn't know once upon a time. I remember one time being at an event in Houston and I wanted to take a picture. It was like the Black Elite. And they was eating and I wanted to take a picture. Bad idea. Bad idea. Bad idea. Sometimes people just don't know. When you're at a conference and you see the other women there, you want to meet them. You want to talk to them. So I, understood that that's what's happening, but we not shaking hands. And I'm in the middle of putting food in my mouth, eating, you know? Yeah, she just didn't know. It felt more like she just didn't know, you know? So, and considering where we were, the conditions, it's understandable. And I've done similar things. You learn. And that's the wonderful thing when you're around people who are living a certain life. It rubs off. You learn things that you didn't even know that you didn't know. You just, wow, this is how they move. Wow, so this is I was watching a video on Instagram a few days ago, and it was an entrepreneur. She was a mother, and she was talking about holding her newborn child, and she was a part of a mastermind where people were making like $1 million a month or something like that. And at the time, she was working on $100,000 a month. And she said the way I was like stressing about $100,000 and how she said these people are just easily doing $1 million a month. She said I realized, first of all, 100,000 is nothing, and then two, this stuff I'm stressing over. No, this is how they do it. This is the mindset behind it. It's not even hard work that's making this happen. It's systems in place. It's the mind of it all. So you get around people. This is why I say for many of you who you just see yourself a certain way because you're not around people physically who remind you of the power that you are. You know what I'm saying? You're not, and regularly. That's why it would be perfect for those of you who can come to the 16th, 17th, and the 23rd. Then you come to the next gathering we're going to have, who knows where. I want us to meet in New York. I want us to meet in Tokyo. I want us to meet in Los Angeles, Chicago. So, like, regularly meeting, right? Exactly. I see y'all. Yes. How can I sign up? Black, you can sign up. Oh, LA is actually, it's on the agenda too. NYC is good for me. Yeah, I really like NYC. I really do. So you can sign up for Women Gods Gather with the link in my bio. There's, I think, 4 options there, and you want to click Women Gods Gather Atlanta. Women Gods Gather Atlanta. And if you want to be soft, this event is going to help you become soft. If you want to really get good with all energies, the good and the bad, the shame, the ridicule, even like somebody here was like, it's too far for me. That mind right there, that mind, see, it's you making decisions all the time. It's you look at something and you decide. Don't you want the you that's making decisions to be of highness? Seattle is not on the agenda, Black. Hello, darling. Seattle is not on the agenda. I don't have any interest in coming to Seattle. I just don't. I don't know if you talked about it before, but I'm curious to know how you got into this. Oh, I'm happy to talk about it. So I came into the coaching space before I knew there was a such thing as a coaching industry. So I'm curious to hear also for those of you who, do you just feel called to do something and you don't know why? Like a strong call to do something. I'm curious to hear, does anybody have that here? You feel a strong call to be a speaker. You feel a strong call to grow a garden. You feel a strong call to move to Brazil. I mean, like, and what is it? Put what the strong call is in the comments. I would love to hear it. Oh, yours is with astrology. Beautiful. Sweetly, I live in Europe. Too short notice. If you say so. If you say it's too short notice, it's too short notice. You know? Whether you think it is or you think it's not, it's true. That's a cousin to what I said inside of Shadow Gold, that you are so powerful that you can choose bondage. You are so powerful that you can choose bondage. Let me see if I got some comments on Facebook. I got to open up another tab. Animation and speaking honestly. Teaching women. Tanya, the reason why I commented on your post about content, because so you see me, right? I see you. You see me, right? I saw you and I said, What is she doing? She was creating some powerful content here. She stopped, obviously. I don't know if she's picked up somewhere else, if she's doing something. I don't know what this woman is doing. But clearly, you are all the things: mother, goddess, queen, black hole, all the things, all of them. You're abundantly qualified. And I'm like, what is she doing? What, 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 what was, I don't know. But I wanted to know. Oh, there's been 2 shares. Thank you for sharing the live on Facebook, whoever that was. I know Kali shares often. Kali, if that was you, thank you, darling. Yeah, check out Femininity Heals content. Yes, check her out pronto. Thank you for sharing the live. Okay, so somebody said astrology. Tanya said femininity, womanhood. Girl, get into it. I would love for us to go live together here on TikTok. How about that? DM me if you're game. Animation. What's up with that? Speaking honestly about what? I would love to see particularly primal black women. I'm not for all black women. I'm not for average black women. I'm not for your love and light black women. And I love love and light. I am love and light. But baby, you ain't got. You're untrustworthy if your love and light is not rooted in darkness. It's just true. It's science. It's magic. It's law. It's all the things. So if your love and light ain't rooted in darkness, girl, trickery, 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 trickery. So I would love to see primal black women, and I'm going to get to how I started in a minute. I want to see primal black women talking about things like this: animation, even all the crypto stuff. I want to see primal black women talking about this. Crypto and the future of things, okay? Bringing the future into now through the primal original woman's voice. Her system, her true raw system. Raw, 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 raw. Uh-huh. I have a question. I put together, and I think it's 21 ways to refine and wield your primal feminine power. 21 ways to refine and prime your primal feminine power. Would you guys want something like that? Or tell me what you would love to get from me that would solve a big problem for you, or even a small problem, but will solve a problem for you, or would help you get something you want. Anything around power, femininity, darkness, rawness. And then I'll start with I got on my soapbox often about things people like to try to remember. Like what? Like what? Get on the box. Get on the box. Get on the box. Get on the box. But then also, I want us to get from the box to the soul of it. See, because soapbox is more like you just need to get it off you. You just need to get it. When people start a video with, I need to get this off my chest. Fine, if that's all you want. If you're looking for impact by way of clients, follows, people paying you, you got to get beyond my soapbox and I want to get this off my chest. And again, if all you want to do is get it off your chest, that's fine. If you just want to get on your soapbox and get it off you and vent, get your little nut, go ahead. I'm just saying, if you want a certain kind of impact, we gonna get beyond soapboxing and things. Mind and spirit. When I speak of astrology, I always use it in a way that brings it back to the health of the body. Oh, beautiful, 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 beautiful. The health of the body. Yes, I would love to even know what that looks like. Okay, so how did I get started? I didn't know that the coaching industry existed. All I had was, for those of you who like, I feel such a strong call to do astrology. I feel such a strong call to talk about animation. I feel such a strong call to help women develop their womanhood and femininity and heal. That's how I felt in early 2011. Like end of 2010, early 2011, I just had this strong call to help people. That's it. I didn't know about that there was an industry called coaching and transformation. All I had was that. Now, also in 2011, the way y'all see black women is all over the place online, I didn't see not one black woman on YouTube in 2011. So I didn't have any motivation. How y'all can binge watch people's content and all of that. There was none of that. And all I did was struggle my way into creating content. Stressed and struggled my way into creating content. That's what I did. And it was the hard way. And really, I just used my will to get myself to do it. And so I started creating content. And I was in a community called Tribal Truth at the time in San Francisco. Tribal Truth. And the woman who runs it is still active doing her thing. I think she lives in San Diego, somewhere down in Southern California. And she sent an email to us with this link to this video series by a pale, freckled white girl named Katie Freiling. Now, keep in mind, I don't know anything about the coaching industry at this time, right? So I'm just looking at this email that the leader of this community I'm in sent to us. And I open it up, and it's a landing page, what we know today to be a landing page. And it was a video of her, and it was called Cash In On You. What? Cash In On You? And I don't remember even what she said, but I opted in for what she was talking about. What I do remember is her colors were purple, and her hair is red. So I remember liking that. You know, it was a deep purple. She had like a deep purple and a light purple and her red hair. And I love the aesthetics of it all. So I opted in for what she offered. And what it was, you guys have probably seen something like this where you opt in for something and they give you like 3 videos and they drip them on you. So like day 1, they give you 1 video. Day 2, they give you a video. Day 3. Now I know stuff like that today is normal. But for 2011, that was you was a boss. You were a celebrity, right? So I'm enthralled. I'm like, and she's hitting all of the buttons about being visible online, helping people. And then when it was all over, she sold us something. First of all, the fact that somebody can talk to you on a video about things that you actually already think and feel, that alone was blowing my mind in 2011, right? What is this? What? Then, wait a minute, you're selling me a solution? Like, you won't actually help me do this? Like, this is a thing? Like, people make money doing this? In 2011, honey. Get out of here, please. Please. Girl. Well, if he your Lord and Savior, why you in here? Why you ain't out? Why you ain't abundant? Because the Bible say, I'm here that you may have life and have it more abundantly. Get out. Shit. Lord and Savior people be the brokest, fearful damn people. So when she offered this, first she had a deadline, like the deadline to buy. And I remember at the time I was living on a hill in San Pablo, California. And I remember being on the couch nauseous because I so much wanted to buy what she was selling, but there was so much unknown about it. There was so much like, oh my, like from y'all need to, gosh. Y'all, the way coaching is everywhere today, it was not like that in 2011. The way there's a billion coaches and healers and astrologers and shamans and speakers and wise people and leaders and all over TikTok and Facebook and everything, that was not going on. The way you got virality all over the place. That was not going on. So to me, this is completely foreign. It's not like I see other people doing it. It's not like somebody is cheerleading for me. It's not like I see any black women out doing it. When I tell you the level of nauseousness, but I'm telling you, she sent that final email. Y'all been on the email list where they keep sending you emails, doors closed in 24 hours, doors closed. And she sent that final email saying, this is the final email and doors are closing. And I signed up from that last email, the final hour, signed up, went through her program, applied what she taught in that program, and I launched a video series like hers. It wasn't as fancy because she had fancy, videographers. So mine wasn't fancy, but I launched it with what I had. And when I tell you, 3 people signed up for what I offered. Sold. 3 people signed up. But that's not the thing that took me over the all in at that level at that time. Of the 3 women who bought what I offered, one woman who was from somewhere in Eastern Europe, she's still active online today, and her thing is it's like root. God, I can't even remember the name as it comes to me, but she was from Eastern Europe. Karina is her name. Karina. I don't remember her last name, but Karina is her name. And of the 3 women who signed up, when we were finishing what I offered at that time, she was like, Naima, how do I work with you one-on-one? How do I work with you closer? Now, keep in mind, I don't even know the business of it all yet. I don't know numbers and no real order. I'm just really following what this woman is showing us how to do, and I'm barely getting it, but I'm doing it. She said to me, so Naima, how can I work with you? I'm just amazed at your videos, how you communicate, your clarity, just all the things. She's like, and I want to know how to do that. How can I work with you? How to do that? I just right there, spontaneous. I was like, okay, we can work together. We can, and I was like, we could do this. We could work like this. And how much is that going to cost? I said, and I just made up a price right there on the spot. I said, And it was something that was kind of up there. And I remember because I watched Katie do a payment plan, I was like, I'm going to offer her a payment plan too. Thank you for all those hearts. And I was like, it's this price and you can do payments. And she was like, why would I do payments? Can't I just pay with American Express? You most certainly can pay in full with American Express. After that, I said, my God. And let me tell y'all about the power of really listening instead of waiting. Black said, okay. When I tell you my wealth consciousness, my scarcity got slapped in the face. Payments, girl, we don't do that around here. We paying full, okay? For those of you who have been called and you've been waiting, first of all, I know you've been suffering like a mug, right? Stressed, you're just unfulfilled. But for those of you who are here now, you've already told us here that you are called to do astrology, to really go in on femininity work. Hey, Aquarian Age, thank you for liking the live. That you and you ain't really took bold, big, powerful action, particularly by signing up for Shadow Gold, signing up for Atlanta, or signing up with somebody else if you've been seeing something that called to you and you didn't do it because of the unknown, the fear, whatever story you tell. At the time, before I got into this coaching thing, I had a fashion marketing company. The company had done well. And coaching was calling me. I didn't know it was called coaching at the time. So when I say it was calling me, I'm not saying coaching was calling me. Just helping people was calling me. Then I found out about coaching in the process through Katie Freiling. The call for me to help people was so great that when I got the download, literally one day I was in a car and I just heard, sell your company, sell your company, sell your company, sell your company. You got to react. You got to move right. You got to move right there. Sell your company. I contacted 3 people who I thought might want to buy the company. Two of them were clients, like women who have been working with me inside of my fashion marketing company. And one was a colleague, peer, a woman who I just knew, right? A client ended up buying my company, and having that like done just had me really lean in. It's like it lines itself up when you take action, even when it's unknown. Remembering there were no coaches and examples around me. There was nothing like pumping me up and encouraging me. All I had was that inner thing. Y'all so spoiled these days with binge watching content. Y'all so spoiled and distracted. You're looking at 20,000 videos to make a move. I'm telling you, boy, today's day is making is calling for y'all to be, because it's so easy to distract and wait, and it's just so easy to not do the thing and spend a bunch of time watching videos about the thing. Black said, "Wow," and so it just all lined up, and so that's how I got started. For whoever that person was that you, Black, or another woman who asked me, how did you get started? That's how I got started. And it was all, it was down and then up. It was up a little bit, then down, way down, and then way up. Such is life. Such is life, right? So, in closing, unless something else happens here today, in closing, get your ass to Atlanta. You can start with shadow goals. Yeah, I told you this woman, her husband, who doesn't even know she's inside of shadow goals. She's doing this work, and her husband was in the kitchen like, "You're different. You're softer. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it." Her son was like, "Mom, you're different. You're soft." Where was this woman when I was growing up? And he's like so wanting her to continue that he offered to buy her flight to Atlanta because she's in Arizona. He offered to buy her flight to Atlanta, help her get there. So for those of y'all who want a man, but obviously we know it's so much more than that. It's whatever you say it is at the end of the day. It's whatever you're coming for. It's you decide what it's about. I'm just telling you some of the benefits that I know personally from my own development as a woman, a primal feminine being who is rooted in darkness, and what my clients are saying. Okay, and she's supposed to be in Atlanta as well, so I'll be looking for that registration from her. Oh, you prayed for this. I hope you're one of those women who prayed for it, gets it, and then acts on it. And not be one of the women who prays for it, it comes to you, and then you find some kind of reason not to do it. Start generating false delay. Start creating stories in your own mind about, well, I know I really want to, I should, I prayed, please don't, please. So, lastly, any questions? Anything anybody here would like me to cover? I have time today. I'm doing things a little differently today with my day, so I have a little more time. So what that mean? I'm not usually a woman that prays. Naima really shifts perspectives. I like how you're talking like I'm not here. Naima really shifts perspectives. Thank you for that, Samaya. What was the toughest part of your journey? The toughest part. There's so many. Leaving my marriage was, that just popped into my head right now. There's plenty of tough experiences. I've countless. That's the first one that came to mind. Because had I not left my marriage, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be as fulfilled as I am at the fulfillment that I know that you're looking for. I already know. I don't care who you are, what you're. It's human. It's very human to be fulfilled and to really not only touch your potential, but develop it, grow it. That is a human thing. So no matter what country you live in, how old you are, what your bank account looks like, your religion, sexual orientation, ethnicity, it is in our human nature to know our potential, live our potential, express it. That wanting to do that requires such living of life. It requires such living of life. And most of us, especially when we get married, we don't live. You might go on a couple trips a year, whatever you do in that marriage, but that was the hardest part for me because there was no logical reason. If we just looked at the reward or the benefit for being there, because I was a kept woman with very little wife responsibilities, we didn't have children, and that there was no logical reason. All I had was my deep insides that knew. I just knew. I knew it like I knew it like I knew it. There was nobody around me who I could talk to. There was no, you know how y'all be looking for confirmation. Oh, this is confirmation, girl. That's why I say y'all so spoiled. I just hate how weak humans have gotten. Humans have gotten so damn weak. You looking for some confirmation. You looking for permission. Maybe not you, but y'all know a lot of people like that. You waiting for some blessing to show up and show up perfectly in a way where you don't have to risk nothing. You don't have to sacrifice nothing. You binge watching 20,000 fucking videos between Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Please, stay away, please. So for me, there was nothing around me that was encouraging or supporting that decision. Matter of fact, everything around me was saying, stay. And I remember being very much on the kitchen floor and just this fetal position of it was torturous. It was horrible. Talk about soul. That was, if I look at my life between birth and 25 or so, the hardest. What are you referring to, Black, when you say I think I am? Or if you think you're at that point, you're not at that point. When you know, you know. Right? When you know, you know. Well, I think so. Oh, no, girl, I know. You see? Energy, energy. All right, I'm out of here. Thank you all so much for being here. I will be back tomorrow, 12 p.m. Pacific. And get your tickets to Women Gods Gather. There's only 12 women per day. Only 12. You're welcome, ladies. You're welcome. Take good care of yourselves. Uh-oh. 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 There we go. Bye, y'all. Bye-bye.